Sound good. Thread good. Drop frame 0. Looks good. We're up and running. Good morning again, gang. As they say, morning, morning. Paper is out. Paper's out. Only 2 packs today. There's only 2 printers upstairs today. I find it bizarre why I get that wrong all the time. I'm looking at the vision here in the little LED, but it's upside down. So when I try and move the camera down, it goes up. It's mirror image, yeah, not actually left and right. Okay, anyway, let's go. Let's get to work. Today is Thursday. We'll have a normal quiet stream. No special guest today. William has gone back to Britain, or rather he's going back this morning. We said goodnight last night, and he is now, I guess, on his way to the airport, or even in the air. I have no idea. He had good fun here, I think, the last few days, last week. Fun, perhaps not the right word for it. He had lots of good chance to do some printing practice. And he's gone home with lots to think about, I believe. So I'm here by myself. Cameron should be around, normal time. Excuse me, 8:40 or so. I see we have, 95% cone alignment. Let's get to it. I do have a show and tell today, which I thought I didn't, but on second reflection I realized that I do. We got a package yesterday. It was stuff for the shop. It wasn't anything really specifically interesting for the show and tell. It was for the shop, blah, blah, blah. So I was thinking no show and tell. But something happened with the package yesterday that might be interesting to show you. Did Will get his paper mysteries sorted out? Well, I don't know. He's in exactly the same position as all of us, struggling with supply to find a regular, reasonably priced, stable, good source of paper. It's a bit frustrating for him and me here because we've got thousands of sheets of paper sitting upstairs, and he would, of course, like to use some of it, but he didn't ask me to sell him any, and I didn't offer because we can't do that, We're buying from Iwano-san 500 sheets at a time. That's Iwano-san's basic setup. But I can't start selling it wholesale because it's what we need. And Will himself, Will and Jed making the prints can't afford to buy, 500 sheets of the stuff, $10,000, whatever. So it's frustrating. But we were able to introduce him to some places where you can buy smaller quantities of the same kind of paper. There's a paper wholesaler nearby. And I believe that's what he and Jed are now doing. They've arranged to purchase some really nice Iwano-san paper from that place. But is it resolved? No, of course not. It's never going to be resolved. Okay, here we are. This is not going to be specifically interesting carving today. It's just trees, cat body trees. Let's just get to it. The paper's out. Thank you. Paper is out. Two packs today. Ishikawa-san is working up there. She's working on the second print in the Pilgrimage series. And who else is working up there today? It'll be Sugi-san. She's still working through her large edition of the Fuji at Tago Bay, the Kotsu print. She's doing very, very well, very nicely. Dei-chan finished her T-ball print, and it's now in the shop here, and Cameron is busy, and I mean busy with the video editing. The next YouTube video should be ready shortly. Cameron's doing all the editing, with Dei-chan being the printer involved. And once he's edited it together, I will step forward and investigate it and do a voiceover and do an intro or an outro. And that's going to be cool because that is an unusual print. You'll see printing there like we've never done before here. That will be a very interesting video. So hang on a few more days or a week or whatever. computer is making new noises. It's making new noises. I have no idea what that means. Stand by to self-destruct. None of this kind of carving is really interesting in itself. Of course, just little shapes, little twigs, little trees, little whatever. But it's just part of the job. It's peaceful, pleasant. It's the delayed gratification thing, You're sitting here working, and anytime you're thinking, Jesus, whatever, what am I doing this for? You think about finished print, it's going to be there, it's going to be a really cool print, lots of people are going to enjoy it. And the only way to get a print like that out into the world is go through these processes. And part of the game. And William last night, it was the last chance we get, so we went out for dinner together, just drank a little bit of beer, had a dinner. And when we came back to the shop here last night, before he went off to his hotel, I thought it would be, interesting for him to see some of the prints we have in the collection upstairs. So he didn't specifically ask. He knows we're really busy, so he's been really good about this. He hasn't been bugging me at all. Can I see this? Can I see this? Can I do this? He's really kept back out of the way because he knows how busy we are. But before he left last night, I thought it would be important, or just fun, or anyway useful and interesting for him. So I pulled a few packages of prints out of the collection room upstairs and brought them down in the shop here. This was late at night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock last night. And we had a little miniature exhibition, whatever, of some of the stuff in the collection that I thought would be really useful for him to see. And we did, so we spent an hour or so, a couple of hours, whatever, looking at some prints here against the light. And yeah, he was, justifiably blown away, I showed him some really nice, sort of one of the pride items in our collection, part of our collection sort of thing is, we've got some Adachi reproductions from exactly about 100 years ago, 1919, 1920, somewhere in there. They started their business, I'm not sure exactly when, it was like around 1920 they started it. And some of their earliest work, the Adachi company did, is just so stupendous. It's far better than the Edo originals. It sounds like a bit of a paradox. How can the Meiji and Taisho reproductions be better than the Edo originals? Because they were made with a different approach. The Edo originals, as we all know, they were slapped out really quick, quite slapdash work for the most part. There were some prints made with really due care and attention, but for the most part, the prints were, really very high production, very quick work. So even though the designs are beautiful and the craftsmen were excellent craftsmen, the prints themselves, mostly the old prints, the ones that are that, show a careless approach to their manufacture. But the guys in the late Meiji and early Taisho were making reproductions. They know now that people are looking at prints as artworks. They know that they're collecting them and enjoying them. So some of these publishers took much more care and attention. And one of those was the early Adachi. His name was Adachi Torihisa. He started the Adachi company. And the reproductions he made, it doesn't even make any sense to use the word reproduction. They are reproductions in the sense that he took the Edo originals as the model for the line work and the concept. But the amount of work and care and attention they put into them was far more than was ever put into the, quote, original print. And they're just glorious, absolutely glorious. One example I pulled out for William last night that I like to show visitors when there's time here. We've got the same design print published by Adachi 3 times over the course of many years. I think they've done it 4 times altogether, this particular set, and I've got 3 of them. One from about 1920, one immediately post-war, and one from about the 1980s. And when I'm showing people these, I start with the one from the 1980s. Look at this, look how well it's made, and all this blah, 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 blah. These are the craftsmen that I learned from when I first came here. Don't they do good work, etc., etc. And when that's all you see, it looks fine. Very nicely made reproduction, way better than the other companies. And then, you know where this starts going. I pull out the one from the post-war, and it just destroys it. It blows it away. Every line, every dot. And the person drinks this in, and we look at this for a while, and think, yeah, gee, wow. And then, of course, the next thing I pull out, the other one from the pre-war. It's just insanely different. So. And we have got to somehow show this a bit better, make videos about this and whatever, but it's really difficult for me to do that because Adachi is still around. They helped me in the beginning. I can't put a video out like this which essentially says, here's a group of people that used to be able to do it, but now don't do it anymore. You can't do that to people. So I can show this sort of stuff privately, but there's no way I'm going to make a video about this. At least not while they're still in business. But William got the exhibition yesterday, so I think he's got away with just his head is just spinning with this stuff. For him, the possibilities are just literally infinite. The level of work that used to exist. So, and he's kind of like me. That's it. To see that work just once, and that's it. That's all you need. I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do better than that. Nobody foolish pride or ego or whatever it is. When you pull the knife through the bare tree trunks, not sure what you mean. You mean the crossing the here? You mean, yeah. Of course. So. We never stop and go around all the corners. You need to flow both ways. So for something like this, when you've got these trunks crossing the line, you go right across. Lightly across. I'm here. I'm deep. Look at this. The knife is in quite deeply, as a relative term, but whatever. Knife is in deep. I bring it to that point. Then I scratch it across. I've got to follow the line of the line. And now plunge in again. Stop. Scratch across. Plunge in again. So there's a scratch mark across those trunks. And when you look at old prints, actually, maybe there's a line of a woman's neck and hair going up to it, stuff like that. If you look at it under the scope, you can see the scratch mark where the guy's knife went right across. And that's the only way to get consistency in both lines. This line has to match, and this line has to add up. And if you tried cutting the corners, cutting out here and out there, and then cut this corner and that corner and that corner, these lines would not flow across. And you can see it in the blocks, in the prints left in the blocks. And it's one of the ways when we're looking under the microscope at an old print, to try and figure out, was this actually carved by hand, or was this reproduced from line work? You know, when people draw stuff with a brush or line work, and then photograph it and make blocks or something this way. In the old days, there was lots of metal blocks done that way. But looking at them under the microscope, and it's these lines that scratch across, because those lines are not present in any print that's made from a photographically produced block. They're only present in a block that was carved, by hand. Leave it too deeply here. I tend to do that bit by bit by bit. Start off shallow, bit by bit cut more deeply. It's not good. Much more risk of breaking the knife, no reason to go so deep. Takes more time. I'm going to be on print party duty this afternoon, but I have no complaint about that today. I mean, we're in slow season. There are not too many print parties, and yesterday there was only one. And today I think there's two today, but I'm on the one at the 1 o'clock party today, the afternoon print party. I'm going to happily do this because I saw the reservation come in a couple of weeks ago. I recognized the name, so I looked it up. And yes, the people coming for the first print party this afternoon, group of 4, it is a young lady. She's, well, whatever. I knew her as a girl when I first came to first moved to Japan in 1986. When I moved here, we weren't making prints at that time as a living, so I made a living as teaching English in my home. We opened a little local English class thing in our apartment back in Hamura town. I did that for 4 or 5 years before printmaking took off. And this young girl, the young high school girl at that time, was one of the very first English students we had. I think the first couple of weeks we started up, we had like 7 or 10 students, and she was one of them. And now she's booked in for a print party here with, I presume, her family, maybe, whatever, because that was 1986. What is that, 34 years ago? She was a high school student then, so she must be whatever, a certain age now. And it's going to be fun seeing her. 35 years later. I wonder if we're going to speak in English or Japanese. Tomomi-chan. How old would she be? She must have been 16 or 17, so now 35 years later. Grandmother, my grandmother, you can't believe that. It's episodes like that that remind me just how long I've been here. It's crazy. People who were kids when I came here are now grandmothers. Incredible. What's the chat going on? Oh, my mother's there. Soka with Himi-chan, my daughter. Look at that. Funny talking about kids. Hello, gang. How you doing? I'll be there in a few weeks. What's the date? Today's January 23rd. I'll be flying to Vancouver on the, I forget, 13th, 14th? So Himi-chan, see you soon, Grandma. According to my newspaper, Vancouver, where those guys are, is just snowed under at the moment. So I sure hope that Grandma is hanging tight in the house and not trying to walk around town in the snow. I think that's worked out badly before, so I hope she's sitting tight, right? Right? You think about my mother there, she's in Vancouver, sitting in her apartment in Vancouver, you know, watching her son over in Japan chop away at a piece of wood, you know. For us, it's just normal, right? That's the internet, we know what it is, we get it. But when you think about my mother's experience, you know, back in the immediate post-war period, she and her young family, you know, dad and the kids and me, whatever, they immigrated from Britain. They got on a steamship, a boat, you know, like the Titanic kind of a boat. We got on that boat, I don't remember it, and left Britain and immigrated to Canada. And at that time, that was it. You know, there was sort of no going back. There was no airplanes, you know, tourist flights going back and forth and stuff. That was it. You got on that boat, went to a new country, and that was that. So she left her mother and her parents. And now here we are all these years later, and she's sitting there and just watching her kid while he's sitting here working in the morning, you know. I understand how it works, and she understands how it works, but it must be incredible for someone of that generation to see this. wish I remembered more of that stuff. I remember absolutely nothing. It's there documented. We were on that boat and we have the passenger manifest list and stuff like that. The Empress of Scotland was the name of the boat. Actually, that was its second name. It used to be, I think it was the Empress of Japan. They changed the name during the war. And the passenger manifest, we've got a copy of it. Somebody put those things on the internet years ago, so you can download them and look at them. It's there. You know. Young mother Betball with a young scholar, was listed as a scholar. She was listed as a housewife. I was listed as a scholar. Master David Ball. And my brother only got infant. I guess he was, 3 years old or something. So. Real hard spot, so you can see it actually. It's an inclusion of some kind. It's like a branch or something that goes across the piece of wood right there. Brittle, brittle, brittle. It's okay here, but it crosses that thing, so if I'm not careful, this could pop out that branch. You can hear it, it's like a rock. Smooth and then right there. Oh, look at this. Somebody's got some background on this. Yeah. So, was there three? Yeah, after the Empress of Scotland. I guess that's right. I remember reading about this somewhere. I have years ago when the internet first came up, and it was such a cool thing. I did some browsing on this early internet, and there was a guy selling things related to the old ocean liners. He had a warehouse full of stuff. It was the sales pamphlets to get people to come on the boats. There were maps of the layouts and stuff like that. We've got a bunch of stuff like this. I picked up some of these things from that ship, Empress of Scotland. Yeah. 57 was the year we went across. We went across in August of 57, so it must have been just renamed. I didn't realize that. If it would have been a few months earlier, it would have been the Empress of Japan. Look at that. I didn't realize that was the date. Interesting. And as I said, we got the passenger manifest, and it's all typed. You can see the typing and the letters of where they've shifted it up on this kind of parchment type paper. And it's there, housewife Bet Bull, scholar David Bull, infant Simon Bull, on a certain date, away we went. And I remember absolutely nothing about it. She says, and she's told the story over the years, she says, I had great fun. This little boy he'd been going to prep school, he's got a cap and a little blazer, and she tells lots of stories about that. I think my mother, during that voyage, was mostly... my brother was kind of a rambunctious little guy, and I think most of her time on that voyage was spent making sure my brother didn't drop himself overboard. And as she tells the story, I was pretty much self-contained. I'd sit and read a book or chat with people in the saloon and whatever. She's trying to keep that guy on board. 1957. Might as well be 1987 for all that. Fuzzy to see here, so we're going to put a bit of oil. There's a bit too much paper left on here. So. It's all very quiet today. Quiet stream. How long is it going to be before this thing's done? Who knows? Who knows? We're still in the middle of that big transition from a proprietorship to a company. And tomorrow I'll be out of here. I'll be over at the tax office, not the tax office, our tax accountant's office. I finally got last year's stuff all wrapped up, ready for preparing the last year's tax returns. And then I've got to present him with what I've prepared for this year, the new system, the new regime. We've been building a new bookkeeping system because the old system that we used for the proprietorship just didn't have enough data. It was a single entry bookkeeping system and it wasn't good enough. So over the past few weeks, I've been building a new system for us. And I've got to show the accountant what I've done so far and have him tell me, nope, that's no good, I need more accounts for this stuff like that. So I have that meeting tomorrow, eating up more time. We finished all the stock taking and the inventory work over the past few days. Astonishing how much stuff we have here, absolutely astonishing. When I first saw some of the numbers about the prints we have in stock, part of the inventory taking and stock taking is you have to know how much value you have, how many sheets of paper waiting to be made into prints and stuff like this. And of course, one of the main numbers is how much inventory you have, how many prints we have sitting here waiting to be sold. And the number came up, and it's whatever the stuff we have here and the stuff we have in Ome. And when you value it for inventory, it's not valued at the selling price, it's valued at what it cost you to make it. Anyway, so whatever, you do it all up, add all this up, and put the spreadsheet to work, and it comes up like, whatever in yen means nothing to you guys, in say US dollars, for example. And there's about, finished prints here waiting to be sold, there's about $250,000 worth of prints in inventory here in the shop in Saksa and here over there in Ome. And that doesn't count the flea market section. We're talking about the prints that we made here over the years and they're sitting waiting to be sold. And when I first saw that number, I thought, wait a minute, $250,000, there's got to be a mistake. There's no way we should be sitting on that much money, just wasted, just sitting there doing nothing, wasted money, blah, blah, blah. You can't have such a bloated inventory and expect to be doing business. But then when we ran the rest of the numbers and we compared it against what our sales were last year and what we expect our sales to be this year, it's actually no big deal. It's like 6 months inventory supply, 6 months turnover. I don't know how, car companies or grocery stores or whatever, each type of business has its own turnover rate for the inventory. A grocery store, a supermarket has to turn over in a few days. You can't have a package of eggs sitting there for a year before it sells, of course. So their inventory has an extremely high turnover rate. Something like a Mercedes dealership or something maybe has a once a year turnover rate or something, I don't know. So what I thought at first was kind of shocking. Oh my God, we've got all this stuff sitting here. How are we going to get rid of it? It's not at all. We seem to be running about 2x, about twice a year. We have enough inventory to last 6 months. And I think for a long tail business like ours, a publishing business like ours, I think that actually is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm not a bean counter or whatever, but I think if somebody was analyzing this business, analyzing the numbers, trying to think about should I buy this business or something like that, I think our fundamentals are probably pretty good. Whatever, I'll find out more about this tomorrow when I see the guy. He's either going to say, oh my God, you got to get rid of some of that stuff. Sell it quickly, knock down the price and get rid of it. There's no way you can sit on that much. Or he'll say, that's all. I don't know. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Like the mist, it's a gift from Jedsan. Jedsan's Christmas present a year and a half or so ago. Over a year ago. Are we expecting big sales during the Olympics? No, for two reasons. One is that, whatever, there will be an increase in visitors here, which will help our business, but we're no real connection with the Olympics. There will be a lot of people who don't come to Japan during the summer this year because of the Olympics. So I think the number of guests coming here may or may not be. As far as the actual Olympics, it's quite possible now that there may be no Olympics this year. You know what's happening in China this past few weeks, and this is going to possibly get out of control. And if I were a betting man, I would actually take a bet that there may not be an Olympics this summer. Because this, I think, is going to get out of control. I know nothing about it. I'm a woodblock filmmaker. All I know is what I read in the newspaper, but it looks bad. And this could severely impact us too. International global travel this summer could be, if this goes really out of hand, international travel this summer could be shut down pretty much completely. So whatever, we'll sit here making prints and we'll send them out by post, but this could be a bad one. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I have no more access to information than you do, but so far, based on what's been in the news, it looks really, really bad. Central Texas, drippy and cold. I don't know about Texas. This is like Britain weather. We've got lots of tourists in the last little while from England, from Britain. They say it feels like just like home. It's a winter, it's cold, and it's damp and dreary. Yeah, the first Olympics in Japan, it was fun. I know the idea. We've got some books here that were prepared in advance of the tourists coming in. Books that were prepared for the flood of tourists for the Olympics, some print books and stuff like that, and it never happened. So. Here's Cameron's hand, right? Morning, sir. We have a quiet stream here today.
Oh, it's not all bad.
Quiet at this end, quiet at that end. Oh, junk there. Sorry about that. It's actually the junk, the bigger ones there. That's the show and tell today.
Okay, great.
So if you put the smaller one somewhere else and pass me the larger stuff, I can. What time is it? It's about later today. Okay, no problem. So show and tell's coming up. So. If you remind me about the 9:15 or so, we have a kind of a show and tell today. Okay. In the larger ones, yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
We'll have a look at these. And you are not gonna like it. Okay, one camera off. Hi, the other camera.
Are you enough for them?
Yep. Okay, hang on a sec. Up she goes. Good morning, everyone. I think we're okay. We're on Wi-Fi. Shouldn't be a problem moving in. It's been totally smooth and clean. No drop frames, zero.
All right.
Over to you. William's out. I saw him last night. Went for dinner last night, and I believe he's flying now or something.
Okay,
11
great.
o'clock flight, so he must be at the airport.
Yeah.
Have you seen the mail on the way on the train? Did you have a
No,
chance to
I
see it?
didn't look this
It's a
time.
bizarre one. A customer in Germany, you send him a tracking number, like a
Okay.
week or whatever, he's been following it. It went to London. He said, okay, maybe that's the gateway to EU. He got a note about paying taxes. He paid the import duty, and it's now been delivered to an address
In London.
in London, England. That's all I know. So, and he's like, I need help.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. Simply, maybe Ishigami Sen or you got the wrong tracking
That
number.
could
And
be
he said
it.
somebody else tracking number. He's like,
Yeah.
he paid the taxes online or something.
To something, but
I don't know why I'm laughing, but whatever. Good morning, Cameron.
Yep. Good morning.
So, where was I? Here. Didn't mean to start you off that way, but just it's a good story.
Yeah, that is
So,
going to be an interesting email conversation, I think. Yeah.
but there's another one too. I guess I can talk about this online. It doesn't much matter. I don't know. Somebody made a claim, a friendly claim. They said, thanks for the print, looks good, but guys, there's an issue here that maybe you don't know about. They got the box for the new series.
Okay.
And it was filthy, she said. It was covered with stains, finger mark stains, and oily residue on the stand and
On
stuff
the
like
box
this.
and the stand?
On the box and the stand.
Interesting.
I'm like, I don't think that's possible. I didn't reply to her yet. And
Yeah.
She wasn't an angry claim. He just said, guys, maybe there's an issue you should know about.
Yeah, okay.
So we should indeed know about this.
Interesting. Yeah.
Either Aoyama-san when he did the polishing or something, or Ishigami-san, or the new lady. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. So we'll
Okay.
have to look into that
Were
one.
there any pictures or
No,
just
no,
description?
Just a text
Okay.
description. So.
Okay. Well,
I'm not angry, just simply letting us know about something. So.
yeah. Okay.
Oily residue, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. We don't have an oily residue on that stuff. But
Yeah.
there it is. It seems quite cool. Perhaps the post office open for inspection or something, but I don't, whatever.
Yeah.
This isn't Angola, whatever, I don't know. So there's a couple of negatives in the email this morning. Sorry about
Yeah.
that. But,
It's okay.
how's the video coming?
It's coming. It's
There's two versions, right? The real version about a half an hour long, and then a little tiny teaser or something.
Yep. So on Instagram, I put up the 15-second version.
Oh, it's up there, is
the
it?
fast one.
Link 'em.
Yeah.
Look us up.
Someone go check it out. And then I think probably put on Facebook and somewhere else the 1 minute version once that gets tightened up a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
the
that means
teaser.
it's on my desk then
Yeah.
for the big one, right? Okay. Is it basically ready for me to come in? And is that
Very close. I'm
Okay.
now, what is it? extending the parts where Wei-chan flips over the print and shows it on each impression, because sometimes she was in a hurry to take it out of frame. Like, no, leave it there, show it to me. It's like, I did.
Is it print online already? It's in the shop now here, but has it gone open online?
It, I think, has not yet been turned on online.
Well, they're ready to go, so we can look at, all right.
Yeah.
Has somebody linked the Insta thing or not? Or
Not yet.
are you waiting for them to do it? You lazy guy.
Wait, every time I try to look for a link, you say, no, let them do it. Now, if I don't do it, you say, why aren't you doing it?
I'm laughing.
Come on, I can't win.
It's okay. I can't win. I can't win. Whatever.
Okay. I'm gonna cry. Okay. They were talking about a virus.
Yeah, I mean, somebody asked me, are we looking for the Olympics? And my guess at the moment, based on what the news is saying, if I were a betting man now, I would bet there won't be an Olympics this summer.
You think so?
Well, of course, I don't know. I'm a mimic what I know was, but it really, really looks like bad news. What they've announced is bad, and this is the Chinese government, so you know how it works over there. So I don't know. I know nothing about beyond what I've read in the paper. But I think this really, really looks dangerous.
I haven't read in the paper what did China announce.
But they've closed down that city. All public transportation is closed. They closed the entrance to the city. They've closed exits to the
Wuhan?
city. Yeah, that's 7 million people. They've shut it down. Everybody stay home. So if the Chinese government has done this and announced this, then it must be
bad.
I mean, like, I don't know, people are dying in the streets or something. I have no idea because nobody knows.
Whoa.
But this looks bad. This looks bad. Well, it just came because somebody asked about the Olympics. I'm looking forward to it. And I myself, I'm scheduled to fly in the middle of February. Williamson yesterday, he got a message from his airline, come to the airport 2 hours early.
Whoa.
They're doing temperature checks and scans before people get on the plane, because it's the other end. There's no more people coming in from Asia.
Right.
So the other end is demanding that people get checked before they get on the planes. That's where it's at already.
Wow. Ooh. Vivid KP says, I received some paper samples from Matsumura-san yesterday and very excited. They're damp in the fridge and I will test print tonight. So, great. I hope
So she got sized stuff then, right? These all must be sized papers then.
Guess so. No, didn't specify.
William took back lots of info about sizing. He videoed what I was doing and chatted with it and talked about the measurements. He took some actual Nikawa and Myoba from our stock for a sample.
Yeah. Flyfish for One is letting other printmakers know that postcard-sized blocks are available from Jackson's at under $3 each. A real bargain. I don't know what kind of wood, but it's good somewhere to start for $3. I think that's a.
Jackson's is what? That's an art supply company
I think so,
in Australia or no? Jackson's.
I think US.
So what, like a craft supply shop or something? I don't know the name.
So yeah. Oh, they're magnolia wood. Japanese magnolia.
That's okay. That's fine. Soft stuff. I wouldn't do key lines with it, but it makes beautiful color blocks. As long as you're not doing hundreds of impressions.
Yeah.
Very nice wood. Beautiful. It carves like butter. Just beautifully.
And KP says, yes, the paper is sized and they're 100% Kozo from Matsumura.
Does she know the name of the particular one? I mean, I don't know if I recognize it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have a lot of paper varieties, don't they? Jackson's one of the biggest online art stores in the UK.
Okay, sorry.
Got it. How bad is the inbox today?
Not so bad, not so bad. I flagged that one about the traffic. It's quiet. I wasn't the last time I looked this morning. 6 o'clock. I know the Reddit thing has slowed down now. And, we're long off the front page. And, it just added to the great wave waiting list by, I think, a factor of about 100 or so or something, or not, a total of about 100 more.
Yeah.
And the Reddit thread that was created last week is gaining comments every couple of hours. It gains new comments, but it's not people commenting; it's robots.
Oh.
There's some kind of Bob Ross bot out there, and every time it sees the word, it must be searching all across Reddit.
Yeah.
And every time it finds the phrase Bob Ross, it starts to post every few hours a quote from Bob Ross. They must have got a database full of Bob Ross quotes. And this bot, I forget what it's called.
It's taken over
the Bob bot or something like that. It's taken over the thread. And it makes a quote, and then it signs the quote with Bob Ross. And then the thing must parse this, and it sees later the words Bob Ross. So it follows another quote. It's sort of not recyclable. What's the word? I don't know.
Recursive?
Recursive situation. So. And I got into that last week. I caused a bit of trouble for Cameron last week. We had trouble with some PayPal IPN messages. So I wrote a little message in our software that sent Cameron an email whenever there was an error on a certain type of PayPal IPN, without realizing that I put the same subject line as the original one that triggered the message. So my error message triggered
an error message,
which sent an error message, which triggered
another message.
Luckily, it was on a 15-minute check. It wasn't like a recursive instant.
Every 5 seconds.
It would have melted the internet. But so every 15 minutes, Cameron got this message from our system. Yeah. Get on this right away, or whatever it was that it said. I forget. This is one of the, speaking to the streamer, this is one of the downsides of Cameron's life. And the job he's doing is using software that is created by a hacker who is updating it daily as it's being used. So he pays the price for this. I'm sorry, he pays the price. So.
But new features are quick to be implemented, which is nice.
Yeah, and then when they finally do get cleaned up and work, they save time. And we can dump something else on top of you to make up for it. You know, so it's sort of, I don't know if it's really worthwhile at the end of the day. But yeah, it works. But Cameron pays the price of being the first tester, of course, for all of this. You know. So he comes in the morning, and when I say, "Hey, I got a new module up last night," he sort of smiles at me gamely and says, "Hey, thank you," but he knows where it's going.
Yep. Send you an email later.
Emails. Yep. Was to further brighten your day. There's one more thing too.
Yeah.
I'm going to see Koda-san tomorrow.
Right.
And I've got all my ducks in a row, I think. And then last night I realized there's one thing I don't have. And I was checking the Tamaroshi stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know which Namabi prints are mine.
Okay.
You know,
I'll get that today.
So I don't know how easy. It's not a one-click button to bring that number.
But it is possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm punting that one down the road a little bit anyways, but I do need the number, I'm sorry, because it has to go into the prints that I paid for.
Vivid KP says she got 4 different sheets that are all different, but all 100
100% Kozo.
100% Kozo, I think. Gekko, which she says is too thick. Shinkusa Torinoko, I don't know that one. She says maybe that'll work.
If it says kusa, if it says kusa, that's the word for pulp, really. Kusa means grass. Yeah. And that's an indication that there's pulp in it, going by the name.
Yeah.
You know, hankusa, half grass, is what we call paper. It's like 70% mulberry, 30% pulp.
Yeah.
So when I see that word, I'm a bit nervous, but whatever.
Shioji,
that's one of them, yeah.
And Shinhosho, maybe too thin, she says.
Too thin, really. We tested that Shinhosho years and years ago because we were looking for a test paper for us. Real Hosho is too expensive to use for a test.
Right.
So I got some of Matsumura-san's Shinhosho, and it was unbearable because it was so thick.
Oh, interesting.
So whatever, as the years have passed, maybe they're now...
Everything's changed.
Or, everything's changed. Yeah. They came in very large sheets, like almost a meter wide and 60 centimeters tall and stuff. So, same thing or not, I don't know.
Yeah. claim Shinkusa Torinoko is 100% imported koza.
Okay. Imported koza means like from Thailand
From
or something.
Thailand, China, Vietnam, I don't know.
Okay, I get whatever.
Cool.
I guess it is what it is. But
Yeah. Coming along.
it's coming on. If whatever, it is not even a day's work left here.
Yeah.
So maybe a day's work. I haven't really decided what to do about the color blocks on this one. I haven't talked about it.
Like how to divide them up, you mean? Neko Hakkei, or?
Scheme, yeah, I mean, look at the original for guidance here, rather than ask Randall to do a color separation, which I think doesn't make any sense. Just look at the original Hiroshige print and see how he shaded the valleys and sky and stuff,
Yeah.
and just basically copy that. So I don't think Randall needs to be involved at that stage either. I think all we really need from him on this one is this brush drawing.
Yeah.
I'll chat with him. I'll scrape him up and talking before, but there's no reason for him to have any input on that part of it. Let's make it look the same tone as the original. No reason to change anything, I think. And Johnson's got the key block ready for the second cats, which he's just put aside at the moment because he's working on the pilgrimage number
Right.
4.
Yeah.
Because we're so far behind on that.
Yeah.
Kawasaki's working on the card blocks for pilgrimage 3. Johnson's doing number 4.
Yeah.
Kawasaki-san has got the key block for 5 underway. As soon as she's finished the card blocks for 3, she'll be moving to 5. That should get us out of our time jam, I think.
Yeah.
3 will be ready to go. While we're doing 3, 4 will come in, and while we're doing 4, 5 will come in. I guess I'd better get on to Jed then, because we're going to need
more designs.
Number 6. Yes.
Yeah.
The waiting list is growing still, is it?
The what is it?
The waiting list for this series?
It continues to grow. Yes. All of our waiting lists. Concept. Oh, these are the guys that came in
today. They're coming back.
Oh, they're coming
They want
today.
to push forward to this. He phoned last night and said, "Can we come?" So I don't know if it's Suzuki-san still about it.
Okay.
They're coming back today.
Got it.
So I've got 2 interviews this afternoon. The young lady who...
Okay, I was going to ask about her too.
She's coming at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay.
And these guys are coming at 5 o'clock. And at 2:30, no, 1 o'clock, 2:30, the party. I have to do that party because it's Tomomi-chan, one of my English students from 1986,
Wow.
is coming with a print party at 4. And when I thought about it, she was a high school student, like 16 or 17 in 1986. So she must be now, oh my God, we don't talk about a woman's age, but yeah.
Huh. Very cool.
I've seen her a few times in the intermediate years when I had the exhibitions going on at Shinjuku and stuff. She used to come around now and then.
Yeah.
So it's not like I haven't seen her in 34 years. But
Right. Very cool.
a bit embarrassing. She's coming to the door and do we speak English and Japanese? No, who was your English teacher?
Yeah. Are you still taking submissions for Neko Hakkei? Yes, we
Yes,
are.
of course.
There are only 2 that are decided so far. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
2 are nailed down. They're really the first 2. I forget, evening snow, night rain.
And yeah, night rain. The bot is working today.
Yes, they came up the last stream.
Yeah, last stream too, it was working, but someone asked about repairs again, and then someone invoked the robot with the repair command, and the bot's alive! So,
I didn't actually. I meant to write to Nick about it. If it is gone, I forgot.
it brought itself back to life, I guess.
One or he was watching or something.
Yeah,
I know the Bugby guy's got his own life, his own thing. So.
yeah, busy guy. heard anything more about his business ideas doing
No,
on his
he
own?
was here that day chatting about things, and
Yeah.
since then I haven't had contact with him. He's in the country, I believe.
Yeah.
Lots of irons in his fire. So
Yep.
if there's anything we can offer, he knows where we are. So.
Yeah.
He got lots of information that day from irons
Yeah. That's
about
right.
the quirks and whatever of setting up a company.
Yeah. It's 9:15.
Let me finish this tree.
They're all
Let me just
saying.
finish this tree. I was watching it. Let me finish this tree. But having said that, I got to warn you, today's show and tell is not pretty.
Uh-oh. Not pretty.
But really interesting.
I'm intrigued.
But it is not going to be a pretty sight. Part of our business.
Maybe we need YouTube videos made just out of all the random show and tell segments.
Yeah, there's lots of good ideas here. I know even a Twitch highlight stream, which was going to happen every month.
Yep, happened
Once.
yeah, but we could just do Twitch show and tell highlights, so just pull the segments out of all of the past.
The thing is, though, most of the show and tells, remember, they're sort of mildly interesting, but most of it consists of Dave saying, gee, I don't know what this is. Let me look at this, and I can't read that Japanese character on the front. You know, I look like an idiot for most of them, you know. This is the first literal peek of this. It's sort of it's an unboxing more than a show and tell.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, those are popular too.
Yeah, you assume though that you can use the thing that you're unboxing. Ryan's toys get played with as a toy, you know.
Yeah.
Dave unboxes this and says, "Ciao, that looks cool. What is it?"
Picture.
I mean, sometimes I know what's in there, and sometimes I don't. You know. Anyway, whatever. Yes, we should do more of them on YouTube. I understand. Okay, here we go. Tree's not quite finished, but let's get on with this. I need to zoom out here a bit more, so let's see. That do it? Are we basically here? Right here? That's my spot right there, okay.
The corner window a little smaller.
We had a near cone alignment. Did you see, were you here? You weren't here the day John Becker showed up like a week ago or so?
Yeah.
Were you watching?
No.
Well, John was here first.
Okay.
He got here and he sat down, we're talking, whatever. And then he gets up and he goes outside to try and align the cones. You know? And I'm like, no, you can't do that.
It's got to be organic.
No, it was fun. Like, he's like, don't you ever do that? I said, I was stunned by this. Don't you ever do that? Oh my God, you know, what? Okay, this says Yui. I don't know, anybody recognize what this is from? If I give you one more hint, that's Yui. Next one is Otsu. It's Otsu. So,
Okay.
Kusatsu.
Hey.
I shouldn't be doing this because there's lots of these I can't read. Actually, I shouldn't be doing this. Right here we go. I can't read.
It's a bird of some kind.
I can't read it. Next one. I should know all 53 of these by heart.
Yeah.
Big hint number 2. I should know all 53 of these by heart.
Got it.
No way. You got that's the same. Is it the same character?
Shima.
No.
What? Is that a Shima at the
I'm
front?
really not sure. This
Okay.
is really done with a bit of poetry. So now that I made a fool of myself. Anyway, the point being, these are place names on the old Tokaido Road.
Yeah.
So what we have here, what arrived yesterday, I bid on it. This is a Yahoo auction, not through the dealer auctions and stuff. This was a Yahoo auction. A guy put up a Takamizawa set of Tokaido. And this set, we get this and go, we've had it, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 times over the years, no idea. I've got one set upstairs, a really nice set we keep for ourselves. We've got one set down here, which has 2 prints missing. Because you know the way we get these sets, people buy the set of prints in the 1960s, whatever.
Yeah.
They get a couple of frames, put them up on the wall, the first 2 from the set, intending to change them out.
Never happens.
They do, or they never change. But anyway, but at some point somebody dies, the stuff gets packed up, the 2 frames still stay on the wall, the set gets packed up, and out it goes to a book dealer. So it's very, very common for us to find sets with 1 or 2 prints missing. Happens all the time. This is where a lot of our prints in the flea market come from. Broken sets that we can't keep as sets. We pack them up, and break them up, and out they go. Anyway, long story short, I've got a set here, the Takamizawa set, like that. It's in really nice condition, but it's missing 2 prints. So a few days ago, another set, the same Takamizawa set, this is from, I don't know, 1970s maybe, I'm not sure exactly, came up. And the guy said, okay, looks good. A few of them have small spots and shimmy, foxing. And he showed pictures. Okay. Tiny couple of shimmy dots, Bob. Okay. So I bid on it. Me and a bunch of other people bid. It went up a little bit higher than I wanted to bid. It was like $350 for the set here.
Of
50's reprints. Which penny per penny doesn't sound bad, but to be able to sell these things as a set, they've got to be in pristine, perfect condition and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, whatever. We get this thing yesterday. The girls open up. There's only one print by yesterday, so they go, and Evelyn calls me Dave. I'm like, yeah, what's up? She says, come and look at this.
Oh no.
And so I go and come and look at this, and she says, what do I do with this? And this is one of the prints. We open up Takamizawa's beautiful washi packaging.
Yeah.
They're packed in washi.
Oh,
Beautiful washi packaging, and it looks a little bit toned and stuff, with no big dramatic deal. It's obviously not in great condition, but when we open that up, the back of, are we on camera?
Yeah.
The back of the paper, where it has been touching the washi, has picked up a strong foxing here.
Yeah. And this side too.
But this gets, look at it. But there's a printed line on the front of the thing, and the foxing outside the printed line and inside the printing line is different. But then, when you look under the print, can you see this on? And we have a replica of the print with trees, with sails, which is white paper with no pigment on it, heavily foxed underneath.
What happened?
And we have, like, where there's different colors in the print,
they're foxed different amounts.
And we have a replica of the print in foxing.
Oh my goodness.
Now, of course, we're not going to sell this. It's junk for sale, so that's out of the question. But this is hugely interesting. Yeah. There was a lady here, Capuchin-san, from the British Museum. She stopped by last year. Yeah. Not to come from Britain to come here. She was doing research and study at Chiba Museum or whatever, different places. And one of the things she was doing, she was trying to figure out with the professional museum people here, foxing.
What is foxing?
Is foxing an organic substance that's growing? Is it a chemical reaction? Is it both? What is it? I didn't have this one, of course, but I have upstairs. I'm going to keep this absolutely for research. And I have a bunch more upstairs. And you're trying to figure out, okay, is it from this to this? Is it come back to this? Where, looking at the different spots where it is and where it isn't, and the different colors where it is and where it isn't, trying to figure out what the hell caused this stuff. Yeah. Why would it be darker where there's no pigment? The Baron hasn't rubbed on the back. Okay, we rubbed this camellia oil on the Baron. So that spot didn't get so much camellia oil. This blue spot got lots of camellia oil because it was rubbed vigorously. The edge wasn't rubbed at all. It's got heavier foxing. So in areas where there's deeper pigment, there's lighter foxing. In areas where there's no pigment, there's more foxing. But it doesn't match.
Because the trees are dark.
Pigment, but that's gray. Next to it is a deep blue. The deep blue area in the print is white, free from foxing, and the gray area, even where it's light gray, is picked up heavier foxing. Brown up here has deeper, heavier foxing. The foxing dots show a vertical pattern down the paper. Aha! Which way was the brush moving when this paper was sized or moistened? Or which way did they brush it on the back when the paper maker was rubbing it on the board to dry it? All these factors. So this is evidence, more evidence. The more evidence we collect and the more samples we've got that show this. Yeah. So this is going into our archive as a treasure. Yeah. A research treasure.
Huh. But the print itself doesn't look heavily foxed. It has some in the sky.
It does. Because up at the top here, we've also the same thing. We've got the pattern again here. There's the tree.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And some of these dots here, they're in exactly the same places on the back. Weird. And it's obviously something that has come from the print. The areas around on this washi paper are not touched at all. Yeah. So it's in the washi. It's in the washi. It's not in the Baron, it's not in the pigments, it's in the washi, and the pigment areas sometimes help protect this thing from spreading. So it's the washi itself which doesn't fox but causes something next to it. the fox. So I'm out of my pay grade scientifically here, of course. You know, this needs fluoroscopes and X-ray microscopes and whatever to have a look at these. So long story short, we are keeping a bunch of these here as evidence and as to help try and track down what this thing is. Here's another one, but look at this one. It's fiercely foxed on the front of the paper, this one. And it shows not so much of a definite pattern of replica of the print on the back. Look at this. So there's so many differences, sheet to sheet.
Wow.
Also, the guy who sold this to me, he showed a picture of good print, good print, good print, good print. Showed one with a little dot of foxing, said, here and there, it's in Japanese, chotto shimi, achikochi ni haitemasu.
Not this.
Not this, but whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
This one's lighter.
Is this
Huh?
the kusatsu? No. The kusatsu in Gunma with all the hot springs, that can't be this one because it's not on the Tokaido. Yeah, okay. A couple of kusatsus.
Whatever, there's lots of places you find
With the same
places.
thing, yeah.
I'll get my glasses out here. We can do this. Oh, it's Shimada. It is Shimada.
Shimada.
Yeah, you were on it.
Okay.
Cameron had the right clue there. I didn't speak up, but Cameron had it. Shimada. This one's not so bad. It's just starting. It's incipient. But all these prints are made at the same time on the same basic paper. We assume. What would cause this? Time and time again, we see the pattern. The dots run in a vertical row down the paper in opposition to the actual grain of the paper. The grain of the paper is this way. The dot patterns are this way. On a sheet like this, sizing would have been done on 2 sheets at a time with a wide brush going across the paper this way. So when we see dots coming down a sheet like this, that lines up with the way that it had been sized.
Yeah.
So if scientist Dave here was trying to think, where's the first place I start my inspections here? Who's the first person to blame to send the police inspectors around to get more information? It's the guy who did the sizing. The glue, the Nikawa, maybe it's the alum, I don't know. Dave's first guess is sizing. For a few reasons. One is the paper itself did change over the years from Edo into Meiji to Taisho into Showa. But we're really basically talking about the same structure of paper, same raw materials, same manufacture, same process. But the sizing and the totodoi have changed over the years, and that's where I would have a look at.
Yeah.
Dave's nervous because, of course, we do our own sizing with just some glue that we got from some place. And what will my prints look like a generation from now? This is post-war. These are 1950s, 60s prints, I guess. Possibly 70, I don't know. So these prints have survived for, what is this one here? Looks okay. Oh, here, in one corner. So they've done a half century. And then, oh my God. So are our prints going to end up in the same situation? I don't know. No idea. We don't see this in Taisho prints. We don't see it in Edo era prints. We see it in Showa prints. And part of the problem, of course, is packaging. This is a frustration for us. Back in the Edo time, there was no packaging for prints. Prints were just sent out into the world. Most of them got destroyed, so be it. But there was no packaging.
Yeah.
When you move into the 1960s and 50s, you have to send prints to collectors. They're putting them on the living room, shelves and whatever. Same as we do. We have to package these things.
Yeah.
And the paper itself, under normal circumstances, would last 200 years. But you can't use the same quality paper for your packaging. So it's a bit of a paradox. We've created a product that will last 200 years. We're packaging in materials that will last some decades.
Yeah.
So that means some decades down the line, somebody has a problem.
Yeah.
Or the print itself has a problem. And it's a paradox in our business.
Yeah.
Prints survive best when they are not packed at all. Naked. Naked prints are best. But of course, a naked print is going to get smashed up.
Yeah.
Paradox in our business. Paradox. Anyway, hugely interesting for research purposes. It's on my list of things to do. Dave, get a bunch of photographs, put a bunch of A/B tests, show people this looks here, why is it here, why is it here? Put the information out there and get people out there to try and get
Figure
this
it out.
in, figure it out. Help me figure it out. But we just don't have time. We're too busy making prints to look at this. But this is critical because the information we could learn from figuring out how this happened will be critical
prints
for us
today.
making our own print.
Yeah.
It could be we are on a path that is leading exactly right to this, and we have no idea.
Yeah.
We're using post-war paper, post-war processes, post-war everything, post-war packaging. It's quite possible every print we've made, every hero's print we've made, will look like this in 40 years.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So this should be a critical thing for us. We need to skunk works to try and get in here and figure this out.
Yeah.
And we're just floundering, trying to keep our business running. Anyway, as I said, it wasn't pretty. That's today's show and tell.
Okay, let's make you big again.
Are we done? Okay, today
It's,
is
9:30.
Thursday. I'm thirsty, but I gotta get a cup of coffee.
Uh-huh.
I'll be back here Saturday morning doing cat carving. There might be another show and tell because that auction thing that I did on
yeah.
2 days ago, it's going to be delivered any minute now.
All right.
But should we show it or just simply should we just check it for quality and put it online? I don't know.
Maybe that.
I don't know. We'll see. We got a wonderful thing. Whatever. Let's talk about it when we get it. Right?
Okay.
Back here on Saturday morning with some carving.
Back to you.
Back to business. Cameron won't be here because he will be off doing normal things, life and stuff.
Yep.
We'll be here for the normal carving.
Okay.
Thanks
See
for
you
watching,
next
guys.
time.
Thank you. Bye bye.